what's going to happen. But the Guardians are going to do the 2-2 against the Reds tonight. 5-4 was the final in Cincinnati's favor last night. Hoping to not repeat that. Guardians managed to put Cincinnati into double-digit win territory last night.
In May.
What's that?
In May. It took till May.
Yeah, in May. They had 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow I will have, in addition to the other shows to give you tickets for, I'll have passes for Rib Fest, which is coming up Memorial Day weekend. It's right around the corner. The Berea Rib Cook-Off and Beer Fest. You know, Rib Fest is the shorthand, but there's a couple of those. This is the big one, right? Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a...
legit.
I'm going to read this as written. A Berea Rib Fun Pack. It means there are 10 rib I'm burping. 10 rib teams competing for best ribs and best sauce. Can you lose best ribs and win best sauce?
Yeah, probably.
You can.
Yeah. A sauce is not a rib, and a rib is not a sauce.
I know, but what I'm saying is, doesn't the sauce make the rib? I guess they have to be judged based on how well they're cooked and how, you know.
The cooking, and a lot of people enjoy ribs without any sauce.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because you've judged these before, and I haven't judged a rib cook-off in 100 years. So,
I prefer a dry rub rib.
A dry rub rib?
I'm a dry rub guy. I don't necessarily need it to be all that saucy. I like a nice, tender, flavored meat.
Is your...
554.
Yeah, I'll let that one go. Is the thought being, hey, I want to know what the rib itself tastes like rather than having it slathered and, you know.
Right.
You might be covering up some deficits with the rib.
Yeah. I enjoy a good sauce too, but yeah, you can mask a lot when you over sauce.
So, so tomorrow I'll have, there's 2 admission passes for you. 2 half slab ribs. That is how much?
A full slab.
Full slab.
That's the math I can do. When it comes to ribs, I'm good at rib math.
Yeah. And then 2 20-ounce soft drinks. This is Memorial Day weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Kids under 12 are free, and parking all weekend is free. BereaRib.com. So I'll have that to give away to you tomorrow. Free musical entertainment all weekend long.
And we're off, what, Friday?
Jam Machine.
Yeah.
We're off this Friday.
This Friday?
Yes.
I thought next Friday.
Well, yeah. Next week I'm out Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
My daughter's graduating high school.
Oh, so I need to do a good day.
Thursday and Friday next week, but Friday this week. Anyway, if you are listening to us from out of state on iHeartRadio, tell me where you do that. Matt listens in D.C. Cindy is one of our bureau chiefs in Jacksonville, Florida. Brian listens in Memphis. Eric's in Longview, Washington. And Chris is our bureau chief in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. That's about an hour north of downtown Pittsburgh. Now, a little bit north of Newcastle is a town called Wilmington. Maybe New Wilmington? I think it's Wilmington. Newcastle was about as far north as I went. But I know Chris is our bureau chief up there. And I read an amazing story out of Wilmington, Pennsylvania, about a husband who works for the local school district who discovered that his wife, who also works for the school district, she's the choir director. The husband discovers that his choir director wife is fooling around with a student, and he turns her in.
Busted.
Because he says, by law, now, things were probably already not going great for the two of them. If he didn't even...
this week's episode of Glee.
He didn't even lament over this decision, right? The school choir director, who is female, was having an affair or fooling around with a female student.
Ooh,
and so now
this is Glee.
So she's facing sex assault and unlawful contact with the minor charges because her husband turned her in. Her name is Olivia Orts. That was Ortiz. Olivia Orts. She's 26. She was the choir director at Wilmington Area High School. Her husband discovered messages between her and a student on the iPad and turned her in. because he said, by law, as an employee of the school district, I'm required to turn in instances of inappropriate behavior or unlawful contact with a minor. This happened to be his wife. He went to the school principal and ratted her out.
Man, that's what gets you all the time. You got your messages connected to your phone and your iPad, and it trips people up.
Well, they continued having a situation after the school hauled the student in and she copped to it.
Oh, wow.
The 17-year-old student said that she considered the choir director to be a safe adult that she trusted and confided in. They communicated both inside and outside the school. The husband said that his wife invited the student to her home while he was away on a trip. The student told the police that she and the choir director snuggled, watched TV, and eventually went in the bedroom where they engaged in sexual activity. Now, do you think the husband is partially mad because he wasn't brought into the situation?
Of course. It's a total jealousy thing. But he can stand and be like, I would never mess around with a 17-year-old.
A sexual threesome.
But my favorite part of the story is Ort's predecessor at the school, Jonathan Priano, 37, same problem.
Wait, what?
She replaced
a guy
the prior guy who's accused of misconduct with students at the school.
I'll never get caught. She's like, they're not going to, that's double jeopardy.
It ain't going to happen twice.
Double jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
There's no way they'll suspect that.
Now, Miss Orts, we really like your CV here. We think you'd make a great addition to the school district here as choir director. Now, you do know that our prior choir director is being accused of misconduct. Oh, yeah. Listen, nothing like that. No,
never.
You're evil.
Like when Costanza was interviewing at this company. Now, you do know, you are aware, our board of directors is under indictment. So the husband busts the wife for having this affair. The criminal complaint alleges that she invited the student to her home while he was away on a trip. The victim told police that she had gone back to the home several times to comfort the woman after her husband discovered the relationship. That's how you do it. That's the flex. Would you like me to come over and comfort you? Yes, I would. My husband found out that you and I are snuggling and watching television together, binging the L Word, and I'd like you to come over and comfort me. I mean, just send an edible arrangement or something. They took the teacher's cell phone as well as her iPad. She was made aware. See, some people, man, they can't stop. She was made aware of the police investigation, but continued to communicate with the student.
Using something that I had never...
Messages on Spotify.
Spotify.
I didn't know you could send messages on Spotify.
I didn't know that either. How do you send messages on Spotify?
They exchange over 100. Do we sound like old dudes right now? I didn't know there was a messaging portion of Spotify.
I didn't either. I mean, I know that iHeartRadio has the talkback button.
Yeah! I got a talkback message right here.
I wanted to tell you, try being a virgin at 29 years old. That's my situation. Yes, it comes from a religious background. And no, I know you probably don't care, Alan. But, yeah, it comes from a religious background, and I don't want to hear you calling me stupid. Thank you.
I'm not calling you stupid.
No, you're a virgin.
I want you to get laid.
Yeah.
Please. 29? Jesus.
How do you do... I want to figure out how to chat.
What is that? By the way, what does that got to do with a religious background? I can see if you don't have sex until you're, like, in college. But 29?
If you're not having sex till you're married... And you're not married.
Oh, is that what he...
I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, you got to get laid, bro.
Yeah, buddy.
29.
It's fun.
I was a late bloomer and I was 17.
I was 22.
Yeah, you were.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I had knocked on the door, but never pushed through.
Knocked on the door.
I had opportunities, but didn't take them. Mm-hmm. And then 22, as a missionary in the Philippines, got it in.
It was all missionary. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Alan, you get plenty of mail. Genitalia. Wah, wah.
What is that? Wah, wah. I like when they add the wah, wah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Alan, you get plenty of mail. Genitalia. Wah, wah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
All
But
right.
man, this teacher and the student, by the way, they're not going to jail, right?
Yeah.
Male or female, these students are like, well, she was, because you're considered to be under the sway of an adult. You got nothing to lose when you're one of these students. And a lot of people think that that's unfair. But you're an adult. The other person, I mean. You're an adult.
I'm still trying to figure out how to use chat function on Spotify.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
No clue.
Poundcake. The reason Cawthorn was disliked by the right is because he implicated his own people with the cocaine orgies. If he would have just said it about the Democrats, it wouldn't have mattered. But he dragged his own people in it. So that's why he took him down. And the fact that he never showed up in his own home area where he represents and didn't do anything for those people also kind of pissed them off too.
Yeah, that's a thing. Some of these people, they just want the power of being in Congress. They don't want to do any of the work.
Whatever, man. Again, what he said is not controversial. Everyone knew that already.
But also, I agree with you, but also, like, he didn't name any names.
He didn't name any
so
names.
I'm not sure what the issue. I thought everybody assumed he was goofing anyway. It's not
No.
like anybody pictures, Chuck Grassley and Lindsey Graham in a 69, on an oiled up mattress.
They want to
You
get
mean
him.
Mr. Ladybug?
Miss Ladybug?
They call him Lady G.
Oh, Lady G, right? Yeah.
But he's got. He said he's got all those moles in his by his butt, and he's
His
like,
right-
"Oh, those
yeah.
are just my ladybugs."
Oh no! Was that true?
I don't know.
These are tales of an escort because he has them sign ironclad NDAs, so they can't come.
But that can't be.
What do you mean it can't be? Yes, it can.
Okay, let's go over this again.
Okay.
Because again, in the 21st century, I don't know how anybody thinks they're going to keep something like that under wraps that long.
I'll tell you how.
It has been decades that the rumors have swirled around Lindsey Graham.
Correct.
He's just got the eyelashes for it. But here's the thing. Let's say you're engaging in some untoward activity and you have this kid sign an NDA. Those are broken all the time.
They are.
And politics is blood sport.
Correct.
So why has nobody come out with undeniable proof that Lindsey Graham's doing stuff that people aren't going to like? When people are like, that's why he's greasing up and grabbing angle for Trump, because they got all this dirt on him. That dirt would have been released. An NDA, you can say ironclad, that's for people who are scared of being sued.
Yes, but
If you sue, and it's an admission of guilt if you take somebody to court over an NDA.
But-
if Lindsey Graham is like, I'm going to sue you for violating your NDA, that's as good as saying it's all true.
there will be no court because also in the NDA, you waive your right to a public trial. You can do it.
Well, there's all different kinds of non-disclosure
But I
agreements.
imagine if he's going to keep something this big a secret, he's going to make sure he has his T's crossed and his I's dotted. I mean, he is a Republican
I'm
after all.
I'm just saying, people break them all the time.
They do, but the thing is, they just like Rudy Giuliani said, he has insurance. I'm sure that all the honey traps he done tapped over the years, they're taken care of. The Republican Party, any political party, is a cult after all. They cover for each other because no one's going to.
No, not any. I'm tired of this. Both sides are the same nonsense.
It
It's
is
not.
It is. I don't
You
care
have
what
one.
say.
You have one party that doesn't even want to mess with democracy anymore. You have one party that's trying to get
because
fundamentalist Christian white people running the show. Don't give me this both sides. I know it's super fun for people to go, both sides are the same. They are patently not the same.
That's where I would disagree with you. The left has gone so extreme.
No, they haven't.
They have.
Twitter. No, you're talking about people on Twitter. That's not real life.
Okay. As far as how politics works, both parties are the same.
Tell me, Poundcake.
policy,
You don't even know how politics works.
But I'm saying the policies may be
What
different.
policies?
But people and
They don't have policies on the right.
the institution.
They can't
is
get
the same.
elected on their policies. That's why there's no policies.
Okay.
That's why it's all trolling. There are no policies. What's your favorite Republican policy? Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
think off the top of my head.
Is Dr. Oz running on lower taxes?
I mean, in his defense.
Is Dr. Oz running in lower taxes?
What's your favorite
Democratic policy?
Medicare for all.
I don't like that.
Child tax care credit.
I don't like that neither.
Pro-choice. Codifying Roe v. Wade. I could go on and on and
I
on.
want marriage equality, and therefore I want
was just saying,
everyone to not get married.
I was going to say, I don't think you're getting Poundcake to name a favorite policy. I don't think Poundcake is a policy guy.
He's not a wonk.
Well, I was talking with my roommate yesterday because I was getting ready to talk about this Roe v. Wade thing, and I'm like, I have been I had to realize myself, I am a single party voter. I have given up everything to the Democratic Party because they are more with civil rights.
They're
fiscally,
more aligned to your values.
Civilly, yes.
Yeah,
but,
I understand.
But I don't want to sacrifice me, being able to get married if I can't even have food to eat or cover my bills. I'm like, that don't even make sense neither. Like, what good is gay marriage if everyone's homeless?
What part of Republicans are trying to help people to get more money? They're not trying to help you get more money.
But I don't think printing more money is the solution
No,
either.
but what I'm
No
saying...
one's saying that, but they're not trying to, get like a higher minimum wage or anything like that.
What I'm saying is that if you're talking about policy, there are absolutely discussions that can be had on policy from two people coming at it from different perspectives. Somebody from a more conservative perspective, somebody from a more progressive perspective. If those people disagree on policy, you can absolutely have good faith arguments about the best way to run the country. That's not what's happening. There aren't arguments on policy.
Okay.
It's who has their tongue farther up Trump's ass than the next guy. This guy who just won the Republican primary for governor of Pennsylvania, Mastriano or something like that. He basically ran on, hey, Trump loves me, man. If it's up to me, we're going to retroactively overturn the election and blah, blah, blah. That's what they're running on. Not, let me tell you how I can keep more money in your pocket. That's what people vote on. Jobs and economy. They're not running on that stuff.
Well,
you think that they would. You think back in the day, that's what they would run on. Hey, all these tax and spend Democrats, I'm going to keep more money in your pocket. They're not running on that because they know they don't have policies that are popular. That's why they don't worry about appealing to constituents because they go, hey, doesn't matter if we win. We'll figure it out.
You are asking how things are kept quiet, and I'm saying there is an institution put in place to where things like this don't come out. It's not always...
Plenty of things come out.
Yes, but not... There's a lot bigger. They put some stuff out there.
You put a lot of weight in non-disclosure agreements.
I'm not saying...
It's
not just a non-disclosure agreement. I'm saying...
No, but
they're not going to speak out because it's not for their own good.
You always fall back on NDAs. And NDAs get broken all the time.
No, you're correct. An NDA is not an end-all, be-all. You can have a fence and a gate that don't stop people from trespassing. But what they don't tell you is once you trespass, what you're in for. These people don't want to... No, none of these prostitutes that Lindsey Graham is allegedly sleeping with are going to go on TV and talk about
Prostitutes.
it. They're not. They're not going to go on TV and talk about it. He'll know... He doesn't know who comes into his circle?
But also... Nobody has a photo of him.
No.
Years ago, there was a guy who they had a photo taken, some conservative politician. This was all pre-MAG, I think. But it was a guy who was down south, and somebody took a picture of him waiting near an elevator with a manservant. He's like, oh, this is my valet. It was clearly like some little Cuban boy that he was, And somebody just happened to get a photo of him, and that made the rounds. There's nothing like that with Lindsey Graham.
Because he knows what the game is. That's what I'm saying. The institution has been put in place for years. You think his Republican colleagues don't know? Of course they know. They figure he is more valuable as an asset than someone you want to go against. You think he hasn't messed around with some of the Republicans in office and got dirt on them? He's the one with the dirt. Lindsey, he's like, yeah, you could come out and say that I'm gay. You want me to be on the left and say everything I know? I imagine you don't want me to do that. They ain't going to come out with nothing with Lindsey Graham. They play it to the media like, oh, we have some... He ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody saying nothing.
Well, he's not going anywhere because people in his district legitimately like him.
He's more of an asset to them than a liability. They don't want the liability because they don't know who's going to come in after him. There's probably a lot of closeted politicians.
Okay, I got a break here. Rain delay on your Guardians. Game 610 was that first pitch. They are waiting to kind of get that game going down at Progressive Field. If you want to get the last word in, shoot me a text 35192, and we'll be back.
This is the Alan